But anyways, he was fishing. He was in his 50s, and it was in Hawaii. He was another day, to him at least. So he hooked something, right? And it's big. He's fighting with it and everything. So he's like, man, I better try to go in there and see what I can do, right?
Right.
So he actually jumps in the water to see what's on the line. It was a swordfish, and it impaled him in the chest when he jumped into the water to try to retrieve it. So he deceased.
Oh.
So,
When did this happen? Recently?
Yeah, it was recently. It was only a few years ago.
So I gotta say this, as a fisherman.
2015 is when that happened.
Okay. Look, I won't purport that I've ever caught whales, anything like that. I will say this. On a recent trip to Myrtle Beach with my family, I was at a pier called Apache Pier, and I started hooking into these sharks. Listen, I upgraded my tackle, I upgraded my line, my hooks. These were about 6 foot, 7 foot sharks, probably 250 pounds. The power of them, I can't even explain it. The one time that I actually was able to grab my reel after I hooked it, it just snapped my pole. It was like a toothpick. So, a giant swordfish, they get fucking 1,000 pounds.
Well, this one was actually a small one, believe it or not. It was 40 pounds.
Oh my God!
It was 6 feet long, and they said 3 feet of that was his bill, right? His sword. So what had happened was basically it had gotten tangled around something on the boat.
I just can't understand why he would have jumped into the water. That just
it got tangled up, so I think he went in there to try to get the line off or something. And I don't think he jumped in and it impaled him. I think what had happened was when he jumped in, it swam at him and it got him. And then it started thrashing all around and shit.
I do understand jumping in to try to untangle the line, but what I'm saying is this. He said he didn't know what was snagged.
Yeah.
But if you got a 16-foot great white on the line, come on.
Yeah.
Before we go into sports, let me tell you, the story that sends chills down my spine as far as fishing goes. 2 older men, they were both in their 60s. I can't remember where this occurred, but look it up. Fishing for tuna. Now, those that know tuna, bluefin tuna can get big. I mean big, okay? So, they're out fishing in the deep sea, and his rod bends in half. He grabs a rod. He had a harness. Now, a lot of harnesses are to a seat. You're strapped to a seat, and you're locked in. That's what I had when I caught the Goliath grouper. This was a harness that's strapped to his waist, and is supposed to hook to a piece of the boat. He didn't hook it to the piece of the boat. So he had his pole hooked to his harness with nothing attaching him to the boat. He gets up, and this gigantic bluefin tuna takes him overboard. That was it. He was never seen again. The last words he said is, "Sonny, this is something big." Boom. So I tell my wife all the time, it haunts me to think that somewhere there's a bluefin tuna swimming around with a dead body attached to it. Unless it got tangled up or sharks got it, but still pretty eerie
I
to
say
think
the
of.
pole and everything is still hooked, and that's terrible, man.
Terrible, man. Terrible.
And the fact that he said that they know what his last words, but that always haunts me.
Yeah. I'll say this, though, and then we got to go into sports. If I had to pick a way to go, hooking into a monster fish and knowing that I caught the fish of my life, I don't know. But I don't think I'd like to drown. So.
No, I actually heard it's pretty peaceful.
Well, yeah.
They do say that believe it or not.
Well, think about it. You're going to take, you may hold your breath 15 seconds.
And then after that's it.
Once you've taken that that water, you're going unconscious pretty quick. We are not advocating anybody trying it. Be clear.
Yeah, don't go drown yourself at your house.